Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker left a number of mysteries unresolved that haunted us nerds in our restless holiday slumber. Chief among them, what secret was Finn going to tell Rey? Well, it turns out we now know for sure what Finn's secret was, but that answer opens up a lot more mysteries about things we missed all the way back in The Force Awakens, about Palpatine's true agenda, about the origin of the First Order, and about how this all could tie into the Mandalorian and the future of the Star Wars universe. Spoiler warning before I go any further and ruin your life for the first time in 2020. Okay, so we're referring, of course, to the moment the heroes sunk into the quicksand off Pisana. Finn screamed, Rey, I never told you. That's my impression of eating sand. Then below in the cave, Rey asks Finn what he was going to tell her, and he says, I'll tell you later. But he never does. Actor John Boyega shot down the theory that Finn was going to tell Rey that he loves her.
I know.
Instead, according to an attendee at a Q&A with director JJ Abrams, JJ confirmed that Finn was going to tell Rey that he is Force sensitive. The attendee clarified that JJ didn't announce this to everyone during the Q&A, but was asked this question by a fan during the one-on-one meet and greets, and then confirmed it. While those of us who attend fan Q&As aren't always the most trustworthy, or the most showered, Finn's Force sensitivity is no secret throughout the events of the Rise of Skywalker. In the final battle on Exegol, he somehow knows that the Final Order navigation signal has shifted from the deactivated tower up to the one particular Star Destroyer that they happen to be looking at because of what he describes as a feeling, which is a screenwriting lingo for the script just needs me to know this right now. Later, the moment Rey collapses after destroying Palpatine, her life force seemingly depleted, Finn stops dead in his tracks on the Falcon and senses her fall, whispering to himself, no, Rey. Similar to Leia sensing Han's death in The Force Awakens, Obi-Wan sensing Alderaan's destruction, and Yoda sensing Anakin killing all those kids. Indeed, Finn telling Rey in the cave that he would tell her later echoes the moment in Return of the Jedi when Luke teased Leia about her own hidden Force abilities.
What is it?
Ask me again sometime.
There have also been unconfirmed reports of an alternate director's cut of the film with a number of major changes, including the moment Finn and Jannah are on the deck of the Star Destroyer trying to take out that signal tower. In the theatrical cut, BB-8 hotwires a terminal to unlock a hatch, in which Jannah throws grenades. But according to some anonymous, possibly bullshit secondary source, BB-8 was added in last minute via VFX, and in the director's cut, Finn was going to use the Force to unlock that hatch. As a defecting stormtrooper, Finn has always been a fascinating character to me. Halfway through The Rise of Skywalker, he and Jannah realized that they were both taken as kids by the First Order. Like Finn, Jannah defected after refusing to fire on civilians, and Finn tells her what she felt was an instinct, a feeling. He says, the Force brought me here, brought me to Rey and Poe. Jannah says, you say that as if it's real. And Finn says, I wasn't sure then, I am now. And it's interesting to revisit the then, that moment with Finn on Jakku in The Force Awakens. Poe shoots down a stormtrooper beside Finn, a stormtrooper who marks Finn's helmet with 3 streaks of blood. And then notice what happens when Finn stands. JJ is using a Dutch angle here on the close-up of Finn, and then blaster fire triggers an abrupt cut to another disorienting angle. The camera work and editing are similar to the aesthetic used in war films to convey mid-battle confusion in the fog of war, but it's also similar to the traumatic flashes Rey experiences throughout these films, like when she touched Luke's lightsaber for the first time and triggered that Force nightmare, and in this film when touching the Sith dagger. One could argue that Finn's baptism by blood here is the true Force awakening of The Force Awakens. That's why wielding the lightsaber in that film was so thematically significant for him as well. I think Finn's Force sensitivity reflects the effort by all 3 of these films of the modern trilogy to demythologize the Force as a kind of spiritual undercurrent disconnected from bloodlines. Like the Broom Boy at the end of The Last Jedi, Finn is a Force-sensitive nobody, selected by the Force to play a role in the broader saga. It's really a message Disney just loves to brainwash us with. To quote one Disney property I'm happy to be brainwashed with,
not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
This might go even deeper than rat morals, because Finn's selection makes me wonder if it suggests something deeper about the First Order and Palpatine's secret agenda. Because remember, in The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren recognized Finn very early on. On Jakku, he stops to notice Finn after Finn hesitated from firing on the civilians. Later, when hearing the reports that they had a defector, Kylo just knows it was FN 2187. And now that we know that Finn was Force sensitive during that might help explain Kylo's ability to connect with Finn in that moment. But would this be the first moment Kylo discovered Finn's Force sensitivity? Or or had he known about it far earlier? Watching The Mandalorian, and a spoiler warning for The Mandalorian, there is a plot by surviving Imperial loyalists after the collapse of the Empire to acquire the youngling we enraged purists by calling Baby Yoda. And we still do not know what Moff Gideon and Werner Herzog's client character or Dr. Pershing wanted with Baby Yoda exactly. Some clues have pointed to genetic engineering and cloning, but Pig Nolte disagreed. But Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau promised before the series premiered that it would shed some light on the origins of the First Order, and I don't know about you, but The Mandalorian Season 1 didn't tell me jack squat about the First Order's origins. Or did it tell us? Jack everything. Could Moff Gideon's desired acquisition of Baby Yoda point to a broader conspiracy by the surviving Palpatine loyalists in the First Order to locate Force-sensitive individuals throughout the galaxy, like Baby Yoda, like the artist subsequently known as Finn, to seek host bodies for Palpatine's resurrection, as he would later try to do with Rey, and for lower-level Force possessors who didn't really make that cut, to rotate those gifted kids into Stormtrooper ranks so that they don't one day become external threats to the First Order. Think about it, a secret plan to systematically require all Force-sensitive kids to join the dark side? That has Palpatine written all over it. But hey, comment down below with your thoughts on this theory. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss, and subscribe to New Rockstars for breakdowns of everything you love. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for not douche commenting before you watch this video. Oh, he was just gonna say that he's Force-sensitive. What more is there to explain? Oh well.